So, hello everyone. We're going to go through a wee quick agent build today. The idea for the agent and the reason we're going to go for it today is to basically capture everything that we're doing today. So we've got the recording with the camera, that's quite clearly in the middle of the room. We have the audio being recorded through all our microphones, and the idea is to transcribe all of your speakers today. So everyone that's going to give you some really good content, we're going to be able to have that at the touch of your hand through an agent. I'm going to break this slightly in order to get to where I need to be. And in this occasion, I'm going to use ChatGPT to make an agent. Now, probably quite a lot of the room will have made their own agent at one way or another at one point in time, whether that's using ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot or one of the other many LMMs out there. So we've chosen ChatGPT today because it's probably the most popular one out there. From our research, everyone seems to have some kind of subscription somewhere, and it's generally dropping towards ChatGPT. So the agent I'm going to create is an event agent that's actually going to help with the structure of the events going forward as well. So it's not just about today, it's actually going to grow it towards an agentic agent as well, so that we can actually utilise this as part of the marketing department and not replace Amy and Elena, as Mark suggested earlier. So it's just to enhance the team more than anything else, and that's where AI agents are really, really good. They increase your capability rather than actually looking at anything else. So we'll go for this one. Today we've decided to call our agent Morag. We've given her a bit of a Highland Scottish theme to go with ourselves. So Morag is the agent we're going to build. We have a description of this agent, which for today is an event assistant. Apologies for the slow typing. Now, what I've also got is I've made an instructional prompt for this agent already. Now, instructional prompts matter more because it's going to take that instruction and run with it for its entirety. So when you're putting your instructions in, the clearer you are with it, the better the results are going to be. So in order to make it a really good prompt, I actually used ChatGPT to make me my prompt in the first instance. So I described what I wanted from it, how I was going to get it, and what my output is going to be. So I've created that, I've copied it into a Word document for quickness here because my typing's fast, but it's not that fast. So we'll drop that into here and I'll run through a bit of this. So Morag's an interactive post-event knowledge assistant. So the idea behind it is obviously that I want Morag to answer questions about specific sessions, speakers, everything that we've got going on today, to summarise the sessions at a high level so that you're able to actually see what you're actually getting from today. We can compare viewpoints between the speakers using the agent as well, so you can pit them against each other in some battles there. I'm sure they'll enjoy that. And we can highlight risks, opportunities, all this kind of part as well. For the response style, I want it to be clear, I want it to be clean, and I want it to be understandable for the audience as well. We can have AI agents that will talk to you in a horrible, over-the-top manner that nobody understands, and there's a million acronyms in IT, as you'll all know, that can confuse a lot of people. So I want the responses to be clear, executive friendly, approximately one concise paragraph unless more details requested, because agents can waffle on. And obviously we want to make sure that it's not going to reproduce private, confidential or sensitive information throughout that as well. So one of the other parts we want to make sure of in anything we do with these agents as well is the tone and how it talks back to you, just to make sure that it's got a bit of a personality around it. So you have a conversational yet professional tone so that it mixes in with what you guys are usually used to dealing with. She answers questions directly and efficiently, and you'll notice there that when she's using voice, Morag will speak with a broad Scottish Highland accent as well. So the boundaries, obviously Mark's talked about guardrails, they're really important. It's something that we need to take into consideration through any build. And the boundaries we've said, there's no external data unless permitted. So I'm grounding this agent in the data that we're getting from today so that we make sure that anything you're asking it isn't going to be a lovely hallucination or making anything up as you go along. So there's no invented examples, no speculation beyond what was discussed, and no policy or legal advice, because that can land you in a bit of trouble as well if you're taking your legal advice from an AI agent. So we have that in there. We have conversation starters. So the conversation starters you can put in here, and these will automatically appear in your agent as you publish it and as you give it out to people. So for this occasion of Blue Peter style, I have some I made earlier. So we'll drop a couple of these into here just to give you an idea of what that looks like. And more about SilverCloud. And with these, These, as you can see on this side, automatically populate on the right-hand side. So once we publish this agent, these will be pre-populated questions that you can click on, and the answers will come from there. Now, knowledge is the next part, and probably, arguably, the most important part we're going to do with this agent. So we're going to actually upload files, but I'm not going to upload them right now because they're currently recording. So what we're planning to do, obviously, is each segment finishes, we'll have a transcription of that event, and we're able to upload this as files for the agent to learn. So it's going to be able to take all the content, timestamp it, put some headers against it, and we've got a transcription engine that will do that through ChatGPT, surprisingly. So we upload all the files that we need from that. That will allow us to actually then have an agent grounded in all the reasoning and all the conversations that we've had today. We can test the agent at that point using questioning on the right-hand side. If we question it at the moment, it's not got anything to talk back on as yet. Now, the publishing of agents is really, really easy within ChatGPT and within other aspects as well. Most businesses, I would probably assume, are using Microsoft for their full estate in some way or another. And Copilot is a fantastic mechanism to keep your guardrails and create this type of agent as well. It does lock it within your own ecosystem within 365, which does tend to make it a bit more suitable. Other capabilities you can add into your agents. Now, web search is not something that I would want to put on this agent initially, because as we discussed, we want to give it its own knowledge. We don't want it going away, making up things and giving us some ideas that weren't there in the first place. So we're going to take away the web search. It's not going to require any applications at this stage. It's not going to require the canvas or image generation or any code interpretation. But what we want to do is perhaps turn on this for the data analysis component that we can get within there. We're going to upload data, so we want to make sure that the data that we actually have is looked at properly and the feedback we get from it is what we're looking for. Now, once we create this agent, that's it ready to go. We can share that through ChatGPT, absolutely no problem. But the kind of point of today is to more look at the agentic element here and what we're trying to achieve by actually putting agents into that space. So in order to turn this agent agentic, there's a couple of things that we'd have to do in order to bring that to life. The idea of an agentic agent is to have a job, a function, something that it can do without human interjection if you so require. So the next steps to turn it there, we want to connect it to your live data. So in this instance, we can look at Eventbrite as our data source, because everyone here signed up using Eventbrite with an email address today. So we can take that email address and we can put it into Microsoft SharePoint, for example, in a SharePoint list. So we drop it into SharePoint as a list. We have that information captured, but that's not quite enough because some of you may have signed up with one email for 4 people. So what we'll have to do with there is create a Power Automate flow to make that kind of capture a bit more information once we've got the event live. So we introduced behaviour tracking at this point, and behaviour tracking is effectively what we're looking for across the piece. It's going to define what we're looking at. So we've connected to the live data. The behaviour will be to look at that live data, interpret it in a way that we deem acceptable, and that's where the decision engine comes in play. So we can score everybody within the room on a basis of where are you on your journey within AI based on the questions that we're going to ask you later today. And the idea for there is with the decision engine, the AI itself is going to make that choice and say, right, you're within this bucket, you're within the middle range, we want you to be nurtured furthermore within your AI journey. We'll help you take that next step, we'll help you set up that next agent, help you link it to your next business system. You close the learning loop from there, so in order to close everything over, you want to make sure that you can actually hand it off to something else. So once again, you're flowing to different applications, but you have the capability through Microsoft, through Copilot, through Power Automate, to take that data to the next stage. And then we're going to automate lifecycle actions. So this is where we get our output from what we're actually trying to achieve. So the agent itself sat in the event. It's going to listen, as we know, to everything we're doing just now, but it's going to take us to a point where we have that data. We're able to use it. And instead of Elena and Amy having to run through everything after the event, what we're going to do is automate the point of the slide decks, the conversations, the content that we've created from today, and this agent will be able to work on that and send it out to all the contacts, within the SharePoint list we've created from the Eventbrite data in the first instance. Now, I hope I haven't gone a bit too crazy there with that. But the reality is that we can take an agent that's doing very basic chatbot, very basic level energy at the moment, and turn it into something that's a lot more powerful, that's actually got a function within your team. It'll actually enhance the marketing division within our own company. It will take away work that's generally having to be done on a manual basis. There'll be no manual emailing, there'll be no manual setups, and all of the events going forward can flow through the agent. So we're able to capture all the information live, push it into where we need to do, and create welcome packs. We're going to be able to create furthermore action packs on the end of the events as well. So the idea is obviously cradle to grave, that most people are in the stage of chatbots. Most people are ready to go in that area now, but taking that next step is where we need to go, and that's where it's becoming a lot more simpler now as well. The idea would be to define what you want in the first instance, where you see a gap in your business, where you see a gap in what you're doing, and that's the area that you can build into. And yep, so Morag is the name of the agent. We will publish this agent at the end of today once we have all the content uploaded. This will all be shared with you after the event, and for 2 weeks after the event, you'll be able to continuously ask the agent for any information regarding the content from today. All right, that's for today. Thank you.